Okay, there are people who believe that they will rule with Satan, being rich, and share the kingdom with Satan. And Satan has told them, these demons had told these people that the saints of God are slaves for God and that they're poor. But I'm going to tell you something. How smart you think you are. You Hollywood people and other people, you will not rule with Satan. He is tricking you. When you go to hell, which you will, I'm going to tell you something. The devil is giving riches, fast riches, because he knows God will give you riches if you live for God. But see, it's a process. You work for your wages here on earth, then you get it. Satan knows that. So this is what Satan does. He's the opposite of God. So what he does, he said humans are flesh. They don't want to wait. They want fast money. So this is what the devil tell them. I'm going to give you fast money, riches, all the things you want that you can imagine, show you all the world and things like that, and I'll even give you a kingdom. But this is what you have to do. What comes behind that is fear, torment, rituals, things ungodly. It's temporary. The devil knows that. He hates you, even though he's making you he's allowing you to, like, the demons, they go and they wipe out people. They want to wipe out pastoral families as well. But he uses other people to gather others in to worship him, because he wants to be, remember, he wanted to be like the Most High God. And let me tell you something. If he's tricking you and he's telling you, see, God don't love you, God don't care what I do for you, because if he did, he would have done something. We are in God's grace period. He's allowing us to get ourselves together with him. He told us his loving kindness has drawn us to righteousness. But God would say one thing, but Satan would go behind it in the ear, like, no, nobody loves you, this and this, trying to be louder than God. And so you listen to God or you jump off the cliff. Fast money, fame. This is what people want, because he knows your flesh. He's using you. When he's done with you, he will kill you, he will destroy you. And if you don't carry out what he asks you, he'll destroy you. And there's a lot of people living in fear of the devil. But let me tell you who made the devil. The devil didn't make himself. God created all things. There's nothing that you ever see that was not made by God. God created the angels. Let me tell you something else. At one time, whether the devil faked it or not, God loved, his name was Lucifer in the beginning. Lucifer loved others. He loved. But he was accuser of the brethren. He was a liar. He was lifted up in pride. And the Bible said that Michael and his angels and Satan and his angels fought. Okay, were they divided before? Probably not. It's just like when you go to war. I mean, like, you be in the military and you have like more than one sergeants who have platoons. But when they go to war, even though they're separated, they help each other, or they have their back. So each chief had his own, but they were together. But something broke out, and Satan was how he was, and he was doing disruptive things. So a war broke out, and the Bible says when Satan realized, the dragon, when he realized he fell to the earth, he became angry and wroth. When you have all this anger, you become ugly. And I'm thinking, I said, some of them are deformed, or maybe when they hit the ground they got deformed. I don't know, but I'm saying hate makes you in that image. So this is what he said: I hate all humanity. Humanity is gonna die, is gonna go to hell with me. So what can I do? I have a plan. I will befriend them. I will pretend like I love them, that I'm their daddy, whatever. And he tells you what you need to do. If you don't follow it off, he'll destroy you. And then the same with God. When God tells you to do something, you don't, he'll punish you. But God has a love. He don't destroy completely. He will in the end, but we're in his loving kindness. God has more riches than, let me tell you something. what the devil can't do. I have not seen any celebrity with grass with diamonds in it. A street, no, a city. You tell me you got enough money to pay. I'm not talking about topping the street off of gold, pure gold, all the way through. God is the one that's rich. But this is what God does. He tests you, just like he told Adam and Eve. Of all the trees in the garden you can eat of, but the two in the midst of these trees. So that means it wasn't just two trees. It was a bunch of trees that had, he said, you don't eat the one like this. He didn't tell them that the other tree was of life, but their obedience would have caused them, they could have ate it, but he said don't touch it. But they did, because here comes Satan. God said that you cannot eat, but God said you can. Eve said you can't touch it, you can't eat it nor touch it or you die. So he's always been the father of liars, as Jesus said. And the nerve, what Satan did when Jesus was baptized and led in the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. This is what the devil does to him. The reason why he don't have more power than Jesus or God, but because he was flesh, he thought he can win. So he tells Jesus this, which he already had power over and had possessions of everything. He said, if you fall down and worship me, he said he showed Jesus in a moment all the world in a moment's time and all the riches and things like that, and said, if you fall down and worship me, I give you all this. But you know who will yield to that? Flesh. And that's what happened. But there's a price that you have to pay. You will not rule in heaven. You will not rule in hell. You will. God has an everlasting fire. And guess what else he said? He said he would throw Satan in there. And I'm saying this to these people with all this money to really think that they're going to be, that Satan is going to give them a kingdom. No. Your kingdom it's not your kingdom. The kingdom that you're going to be at, that's it. Do you really think them thinking above you anyway, a spiritual being, think that they were going to let you rule in their kingdom? You're not like them. The only way that you can become like, is your mortal body coming incorruptible, as your body would be changed in a moment, in the twinkle of the eye. That means if you standing alive, the dead in Christ shall rise first. When they say dead, it's just in another realm, as Jesus talks about Lazarus in hell. Forgive me. The rich man in hell and the poor man Lazarus in the bosom, and they're talking. He said, the rich man who went to hell said, hey, I have brothers. Let me warn them of this place. But you're being deceived, and that Satan is deceiving you because he's giving you these riches and things. As long as you carry out his duty, he's not going to try to destroy you, but he will if you don't carry out. But by and by, when he's done with you, he will. But see, if you're still alive, when Jesus comes through that sky, you're going to be destroyed with Satan. Satan was cast to the earth, and he was thrown. The other angels were chained. Now you tell me who has the power, but you telling people, I'd rather be rich, and instead, that's for a short period of time. We are too. We're going to be rich, but we have the way God does it. See, we're not like God. He says, work your wages, endure to the end, and I will give you. And we already know is more beautiful than what Satan can ever give you. And Satan don't have power over God. God has power over Satan. God created Satan. So in your mind that Satan has bewitched you, that's all I can say. I just want to let that out. But if you're bewitched, it's you have ears to hear and not really hear in the spirit. And you can't see because you're blinded. Satan has blinded you. He's tricked you. And it is not true that you will rule with Satan in riches. Because there was a statement that I heard. I'd rather live and rule in riches and kingdom than to be a slave for God and poor. No. As long as Jesus came down here poor, to the poor, but he is above everything. He is to be exalted. I wanted to have my say, and I know there's probably a lot of videos like that. It is not true. People, singers or whatever, people who have riches now, you will not rule. You will burn if you don't turn from your wicked ways. Read the Bible. Don't listen to the devil. Read the Bible, and you'll see that God created the angels. Read Job, because Satan was an angel before, but his evil is cost, his punishment forever.